Okay. These sac-like fungi are generally decomposers, that is they decay, they will be living on dead decaying organic matter, or these are coprophilous. How are these? These fungi are called coprophilous. Coprophilous means what? These will be growing on cow dung. So they grow on dung. Okay. These fungi may be parasitic, some forms. Some of these forms are parasitic. That means they may be growing in the bodies of other living organisms and causing diseases. So some of the forms are parasitic. Okay. Examples of these are Aspergillus. What are the examples? Aspergillus, Penicillium. Okay, so these are the fungi belonging to the ascomycetes. Now another important point in ascomycetes is that the morels, and there are two types of ascomycetes which are called as the morels and the truffles. What? Truffles. These morels and truffles are edible. They are eaten, and these are eaten as delicacies. Okay, so morels and truffles are edible ascomycetes. So these are the sac fungi, the ascomycetes. The next class is the basidiomycetes, which we have commonly called as the club fungi. Why have we called them as the club fungi? Because the fruiting body is in the shape of club. Okay, so these have the fruiting bodies in the shape of club. Here the fruiting body is in the shape of sac. So in this fungi, fruiting body is, how is it? Club shaped. So club shaped fruiting body. You can easily give the examples of this fungus. Club shaped fruiting body will be the fungus which is called as agaricus. Okay, now you will say we don't know what is agaricus. Obviously, but this agaricus is what you commonly call as mushroom. What is agaricus? Agaricus is nothing but mushroom. Other example of this is the disease causing Puccinia. Okay, now these Puccinia causes wheat rust. What does it cause? Wheat rust. So this is a parasitic fungus which causes wheat rust. म्हणजे गव्हावरील तांबेरा. So if you see the leaves of such wheat, these will have rusty. Rusty म्हणजे गंजल्यासारखे. Okay, red color से patches त्याच्या leaf वर develop होतात आणि leaf dry होऊन जाते. So that is because it is getting infected with this fungus Puccinia, which causes wheat rust. So these are the examples of the fungi which belong to the class Basidiomycetes, club fungi. The next is the class of Deuteromycetes. Now Deuteromycetes are imperfect fungi. These fungi will be reproducing only by asexual method. All these fungi have sexual as well as asexual mode of reproduction, but imperfect fungi, these fungi reproduce only by asexual method. So there is no sexual method in reproduction. So these reproduce only by asexual method. Okay. So these asexually reproducing fungi, which are probably termed to be some intermediates of these classes, are called as the imperfect fungi. Then what are the examples of imperfect fungi? The example of imperfect fungi is the fungus Alternaria. What is this fungus called as? Alternaria. The second example is the Coletrochicum. Coletrochicum. Okay, so these fungi are the fungi. So yeah, it is Coletrochicum. Okay, so these fungi are the fungi which belong to Deuteromycetes. From the point of view of examination, this classification is important. You will be asked a question in which you have to classify the organisms belonging to kingdom fungi. Criterion for classification will be the structure, the mode of what, spore formation and the shape of the fruiting body. Accordingly, you have these 4 classes. You can give the answer in the form of this flow chart, mentioning the examples of each of this class and the characteristic features. Are you getting it? So with this we have completed with the study of kingdom fungi. Now from the 5 kingdom system of classification, we have studied kingdom Monera, we have studied kingdom Protista, we have studied kingdom fungi. The remaining 2 kingdoms, the kingdom Plantae and the kingdom Animalia, we have to study these 2 kingdoms as separate chapters. Okay, so the next chapter is the kingdom fungi followed by the kingdom, the next chapter is the kingdom Plantae followed by the kingdom Animalia. So that we are going to study as separate chapters. Okay students, now after this, what are we going to study are acellular organisms. What are we going to study? Acellular organisms. That means we have to study those forms which do not have cellular organization. So their bodies are not made up of cells, but which acquire living characteristic features when they enter into the cellular form, when they enter into the cells of any host. Okay, these cellular organisms are obligate parasites. Obligate parasites means they will acquire living form and living characteristic only when they enter into the body of some other living form. And such acellular forms are called as viruses. What? Viruses. In fact, now the talk of this viruses is on everybody's tongue, right? Yes, like the coronavirus, we are going to study what these viruses are, what are their characteristic features, as well as we have to study the fragmental, very small, minute, microscopic parts which are smaller even than these viruses, which are called as the virions. So we are going to study the acellular organisms, the viruses, in the next part, in the next unit to come in this chapter. Okay students, so go through this table, see this classification of kingdom fungi. I am telling you it is important from the point of view of examination. Okay, and then we'll pass on to the next part in our chapter. Yes, students, we'll begin with a study of acellular organisms. Now, in acellular organisms, what have we to study? Are the viruses. What have we to study? We have to study the viruses. Okay. Now, the term virus is not at all new to you, isn't it? And nowadays, so it is not at all unknown. So, every one of us is talking about the viruses. So, let us go for what these viruses actually are. The viruses are acellular organisms. Okay, so these are acellular. Now students, see, when we started with the study of biology, in the distinguishing characteristic features of life, what have we said? We have said that life is made up of cellular organization. That is, any living organism is made up of cell. It may be made up of a single cell, then it becomes unicellular, or many cells, then it becomes multicellular, right? So, life is characterized by cellular organization. Okay. But here we are studying viruses which are acellular. Their bodies are not made up of cells. Okay, yes, that is the interesting fact about viruses. Outside the living form, means outside the host cell, every virus is in crystalline form. So outside the host cell, how are these viruses? Viruses are in crystalline form. How are these? Crystalline. Crystalline means just like a crystal. जसं तुम्ही मीठ जर common salt if we take, we observe the crystal of common salt which is cubical. Take the crystal of sugar. In the same way, viruses are also in the form of crystal. How are these? These are in the form of crystal. When they enter the living form, जेव्हा हे क्रिस्टल्स आपल्या शरीरात येतात किंवा इतर ऑर्गॅनिझम्सच्या शरीरात येतात, त्यांच्या सेल्स मध्ये एंटर करतात, they show living characteristic features. They use the genetic material, the DNA or the RNA of this cell and start multiplying in the cell. Okay? So, viruses which outside the host cell are in the crystalline form are said to be acellular entities. So, viruses are nothing but acellular entities, particles. Okay? Now, when we go for the history of these viruses. Okay, when we go for the history of these viruses, we find that these viruses were referred to as venom. Venom means poison. Venom means what? Poison. By Louis Pasteur. Who used this term venom for viruses? Louis Pasteur. What did he call these viruses? He called the viruses as contagium. Contagium vivum fluidium. What was the term given to the viruses by Louis Pasteur? contagium vivum fluidium. That means poisonous fluid which on contact will produce diseases. Okay, so this contagium vivum fluidum, it means venom. Venom म्हणजे poison. Okay, so Louis Pasteur termed these viruses as contagium vivum fluidium. Then the viruses were first demonstrated by Adolf Meyer, and that was in the year 1886. In 1886, Adolf Meyer, Adolf Meyer, what did he do? He demonstrated what? That mosaic disease in tobacco mosaic disease in tobacco. You know what is tobacco? Yes. Now this tobacco suffers from a mosaic disease, and this mosaic disease in tobacco is infectious. Infectious means what? If a tobacco plant suffers from or shows the tobacco mosaic disease, and if the liquid from this plant leaf comes in contact with the other plant, it also becomes infected. So juice from the tobacco plant which is infected with the tobacco mosaic disease, if this juice is injected into the healthy tobacco plant, it will also show the tobacco mosaic disease. So when such characteristic is shown by any organism, that organism is said to be infectious, right? And that is what the coronavirus now we are talking of. Why have we to quarantine or keep these persons suffering from corona disease in isolation or quarantine them? Because coming in contact with this, the healthy person also will get the corona disease. This is called as infectious nature. And such infectious nature was firstly demonstrated by Adolf Meyer in the tobacco mosaic disease. In which disease? Tobacco mosaic disease. The mosaic disease in tobacco was caused, later on it was found that this disease was caused. Who caused this disease? Was caused by tobacco mosaic virus, which is abbreviated as TMV. What is it? TMV.